gosh. Muffin's experience has a level of time. The little spikes can take extra damage.
But he makes it through.
Wow. I'll save anywhere for him.
Oh! Muffin! Wilson!
What are you doing? No, what are you doing?
No. Oh, reach. Oh, Hellraiser saving him again.
I hope he remembers that top left keystone, because that's dash. That's huge.
Oh, he forgot it. He doesn't remember. Oh, no.
And welcome everyone to today's first match of the Ori Randomizer Tournament 2018. So I'm joined by the Roos is Loose in commentary. Hey Roos.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Like 9 matches today. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty epic marathon, and I, for one, am really looking forward to it.
Definitely. So the first match is going to be a singles match, Skulblaka against OG. And it's going to be 0-1 round. So that means that they both lost their first match against like very good players, definitely. So nothing to blame.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising to see both of these guys in 0-1, but that is rando. You know, it's anything can happen when you don't know where all the pickups are. I consider both of these players pretty strong rando players. Skull is just like a very, very dedicated rando player. Has helped a lot with working on specifically the co-op mod with Ico. And then OG is well known for doing quite a bit of Master Seed, so he's going to know a lot of the intense execution tricks. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup between these two, I think. All right, so Didu, this is your first commentary. So to introduce you to how we do things here, it's time to play everyone's favorite game, which is what is the first pickup? What do you think it's going to be?
Oh man, always a hard question. Like, since it's a randomizer, like it could be anything, but since there's a 2 keystone door, I'm gonna have to go for the keystone.
All right, you're saying keystone. I am going to go for the unlikely event. I'm going to say it's Sunstone. I'm sure both of our runners would be extremely happy to see it be Sunstone.
Yeah, definitely. They wouldn't have to look for Sunstone the entire game and have to wait for their clues, which is like every 3 trees. So, the keys they want are Water Vein and Sunstone to be able to finish the game. So having one of them from the start would be pretty awesome.
Absolutely. So we got a little bit of info from these runners ahead of time. Both of them talked a little bit about how their preparation and their mindset was going into this. I know Skull had mentioned that she's pretty nervous about OG specifically because he does a lot of Master Seeds. So she's worried that he might be able to get ahead of her with some pretty difficult sequence breaks. As far as OG is concerned, he said that one of the things he's worried about is that because he's recently changed some of his binds, he might be having a little bit of difficulty with that.
Yeah, and it looks like both of our runners are underway, so we're about to see what the first pickup is. An wall jump, that's really interesting, because that means if they get 2 keystones, we might see them split up.
Yeah, and wall jump start is definitely one that feels very comfortable from the perspective of a runner for a couple of reasons. One, just having wall interaction is really nice because it can get you access to some areas that are really inconvenient to get to otherwise. And then 2, this actually opens up a fairly wide amount of space for us. Specifically, Blackroot Burrows has been opened up, and if they get any more keystones, everything off to the left towards wall jump.
And XP for the second pickup. That's really interesting. It's really nice to have some XP at the start.
It could be, and
But
this may incentivize one of them to go into Blackroot Burrows because having that point will allow them to skip the cutscene at the beginning.
What's really nice about going to BRB at the start is that you can get to pretty much every pickup in there, so you don't have to backtrack usually, so that's really nice.
Yeah, especially with wall jump, they won't have any difficulty getting to all of the various pickups in there, especially with some of the sequence breaks they can use in the deeper areas, which I'm sure both of these runners are familiar with. More experience. These players are gaining levels quite quickly.
And double jump, that's pretty great. I really like double jump. That's a pickup that, like, you don't really need it, but it's really nice to have always.
Yeah, it's one of the like top tier convenience pickups. It does get you access to some new stuff, but the most important thing is it just is really, really comfortable to have. And you can see on Skull's side going to be going into Blackroot Burrows. I definitely like this decision a lot. Double jump especially really makes Blackroot quite a bit safer. So this decision makes quite a lot of sense. And it looks like we may be seeing OG do the same.
Yes, and we also saw OG check the underwater pickup, and it was a Alsa, which means he's going to have 4 HP for BRB, whereas Skulblaka doesn't.
At least for a little while, the difference in HP shouldn't make a huge difference. It'll just provide a little bit of extra safety for OG. However, late in the run, if we don't find clean water, it could come into play in a pretty important way because there's some poison water at the end of the very final escape that they may need to be concerned about. Ooh, look at what OG just found to do.
It's Dash.
Found Dash. That is a huge pickup, and I'm sure they're both going to be incredibly happy they came to BRB at this point because Dash is really just the ultimate go fast ability. It's literally a button you click to go faster. So it's one that any runner is going to be super happy to see when they come in here.
For sure. And I can't see Skull skipping this pickup, so I'm assuming she's about to find it. It looks like it. Awesome.
And it looked like OG was thinking about going around the casual route to get to this pickup up here. Maybe he just forgot he had wall jump, but then he came back over here, gets it. Just 97 experience, so he's going to be really glad that he didn't take the time to float around on the platforms the casual way to get there, and then just find out it was only experience.
A really smart play from Skull. She's placing a save at the cutscene skip. Before going up, that means like if she dies to the laser, she won't have to go back all the way to the start of BRB or whenever she saved last.
That's a pretty heads-up play. I like that. I'll have to start stealing that, I think.
Yeah, she did that because she missed the platform cycle, so it's like free time to place a save.
And now going to be spending a point to skip the cutscene. So there's a couple of pickups they can kind of branch out for here. There's the dash tree off to the right. There's a map stone, which is in logic because of their dash. And then there's also an ability cell off to the left. So the runners like to sequence the order they pick these up in a little bit differently. And I like this going to the left to get the bottom one. This is the order I do it in personally, because you want to check this pickup. You just saved, so if it's something you don't want, as Skull has decided the ability cell is here, you can just reload, come back to your save, and go check the other pickups as well.
Still no keystones, that's really interesting. Like I would assume to find 2 keystones or maybe Stomp to be able to go into Grotto. Since they have dash, so Raziel no, the Raziel no area is in logic.
Still just experience. You know what I'm really hoping for is it doesn't even give any keystones down here. I want to see it give like the swamp or the grotto teleporter and keep them just locked out of the wall jump area for as long as possible. That always generates some pretty interesting seeds.
Oh yeah. It's always fun when you find a right side TP. Oh, and there is Stomp, so as I was saying, they're probably gonna have to head into Grotto now, like towards double jump tree, probably.
Very interesting. So hopefully there's going to be some keystones over there. Ooh, interesting. Okay, no. Skull is just opting to break that floor, which prevents a cutscene from playing at the teleporter up here. I thought maybe she was actually going to go down and get Light Grenade, which she can with her current abilities. Although, I can't tell from the mixer if she has any points to skip the cutscene with. Could be an interesting decision. Okay, you see OG doing the same, going to just use it to skip the cutscene. And going to clear out what we refer to as the Indiana Jones area here, and then probably head into Grotto. Ooh, look at that teleporter from Skull, though. That was the Sorrow Teleporter, which can be incredibly useful later on. One of the big obstacles in the randomizer is getting access to the left side of the map. Now, they have Stomp already, so that won't be a problem for them for the most part. But just having that Sorrow Teleporter gives you an easy backdoor access into Sorrow Pass, and by extension, the rest of the left side, which could definitely come into play pretty soon.
So both of our runners have a number of skills now. What do you think they're looking for next? What could be useful to them now?
Well, of course, the number one thing that any runner is looking for before they have it is Bash. It's just by far the most useful utility ability. Gives you access to so much of the map and it can bail you out of so many situations. So I'm 100% sure they're really looking for Bash. But something like Charge Jump would also just be incredibly useful to increase the amount of verticality they have, which is pretty limited right now. They really just have double jump. But in addition to that, I'm sure they're also just wanting to get to trees so they can get clues to where their dungeon keys are right now.
Yeah, I would assume they're probably looking for a way to break plants too, since they have to skip all the plants right now in Lower Grotto, and there are a number of them. That would allow like a few more pickups to check.
That would, of course,
and it's
be
an interesting place from OG, heading down into Lower BRB.
Yeah, this is pretty big. This is a gigantic divergence from the two of them. If there's something critical down here that OG finds, there's a pretty strong chance that Skull may not come here for quite a while. So, for example, if Bash is down here, that could be really, really huge. And on your left-hand side, you can see Skull is taking the time to kill the mini-boss here. Quite interesting. She does have Stomp, so she's able to redirect his shot back at him, so it'll be a pretty quick kill here. I think in general, runners tend to skip this guy if they don't have any skills that will let them kill him fast, but if they do, they pretty much always come down here.
Yeah, it's a pretty long pickup to get, especially because of the autosave, so you can't really reload to get back up. So that's why runners often choose to skip it. But like, since they don't have a lot of pickups available right now to them, I feel like that's a really good play.
Yeah, I agree. So sort of the difference we're seeing between our two runners right now is just in terms of which trees they went towards. You're going to see Skull is going to basically be pretty quickly picking up the double jump tree here, whereas OG decided to get the light grenade one. So I don't think we can really say that either player has opened up much, if any, of a lead right now. It's just sort of a different set of things that they've checked, but they're both going to need to go to where the other one has been. So it's not going to make a huge difference there.
Skull just used 2 keystones to open the double jump door, which means she only has 1 left, so she can't head into Swamp now if she wants to. Oh, and I believe there was a skill at the tree, didn't see what it was.
It was Glide, according to our truck, which is pretty big, especially paired with that Sorrow Teleporter. They now have very, very full access to the left side. One of the biggest problems with using that Sorrow Teleporter without Glide is that the Sorrow area is really, really dangerous if you don't have the ability to use those wind currents to keep yourself upwards. But that's now no longer going to be a problem for Skull. So we could very well see a very early left side play from her if she so chooses to go that way.
And it looks like she's going into Lower BRB now. Probably gonna head towards the grenade tree.
So I suspect what we're going to see is kind of just a swapping of the positions of these two runners. OG looks like he's going to head into probably Grotto and do the double jump tree. Skull's going to do the grenade tree, so they're going to kind of cover the territory that the other one just did, at least for the next minute or two.
Oh no, a quick death from Skull. She had saved not too far back, so it's pretty fast to get back there, especially with dash.
Now, because they have dash, one potential option for these runners is to try and quickly get up to the charge dash ability, which would give them the ability to break these blue plants, even though they don't have a skill that's strictly intended to do so. It's a little bit expensive on ability points to be able to get there, but charge dash is a very useful thing to have anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get blue plant breaking abilities soon to see them try and go that way. Okay, so we're about to get some new information on the right-hand side of our screen. OG has gone through the 2 keystone door towards wall jump and is going to be clearing out this area that normally comes very early on in the run, but you can see where almost 12 minutes into this run, and we're only just now starting to see what is usually one of the very first areas of the game.
And we're gonna have on the left side the first clue soon, so we will find out where one of the keys is.
And she's probably going to use this key to inform a lot of her decision making. Mapstone, okay, and we got Sunstone in Glades. Interesting. So Sunstone in Glades can mean a couple of things. It's kind of, in my mind, means one of two things. Either it's going to come very early because it's just something that we haven't like walked to yet but is easily accessible, or it's going to be in one of the really awful places, like it's going to be locked behind clean water or grenade. And if it's one of those places, that's something they really don't want to see. So I know these players are crossing their fingers that it's someplace easy like the wall jump tree.
Yeah, having Sunstone early is always nice, so you can cross it from your mind and forget about it. And not have to like search for the Sunstone at the last minute.
Now on your left-hand side, Skull made a pretty interesting play here. She had a Mega Energy, which gives you kind of a boost of temporary energy that goes away once you've spent it. And she elected to spend it on opening the door into Death Gauntlet here, which is pretty cool. It gives her access to this new area she didn't have before. With their current set of skills, they would have had a bit of a difficult time getting out from Lower Grotto up to where they are now. So this is going to give her access to a pretty large new section of territory. This gives you the whole of the swamp area, and from there you can get over into like sort of the Grove Spider Sack area. So this opened up quite a bit of stuff for her to explore. So she's going to have no shortage of pickups to be looking for right now.
Yeah, I really like this play because it allows her to check a few pickups in Death Gauntlet, and climbing up the rockfall climb is quite long to do, and there isn't that many pickups right there, so I really like this play, using the Mega Energy to sequence break just a bit.
All right, looks like she's electing to go into the Grove section that she has access to right now instead of the Swamp one. Pretty solid play. There is, oh, nope, never mind. Just going to be checking Iceless and going back. So I imagine the thinking here is probably along the lines of there's quite a few breakable blue plants and walls off to the left. Oh, I stand corrected again. Turns out she's going to be going back. You can see OG pulling up his map out there, maybe trying to take a few seconds to plan out what he wants to get access to. And I think that's something that maybe a few runners could take advantage of a little more often. It's not necessarily a bad idea to take 3 or 4 seconds to kind of clear your head, think about what skills do I have and where do I want to go. If you're just like 100% go, go, go all the time, sometimes you might forget, oh, you know what? I actually did have Stomp and I could have gone to this better area right now. So taking the time to think can definitely be a very helpful strategy.
For sure. Also, oh, like got a reload and lost a lot of progress. Yeah, he checked a number of pickups in Glades and still hasn't found Sunstone. So maybe it's a bit more buried.
So there are a couple of pickups in Glades that are gated behind Grenade, as well as some that they're not strictly hard gated by Dirty Water, but unless you have a decent amount of health or ultra defense, it can be pretty hard to get to. So those pickups are not necessarily ones they want to see. There's also the Gladeser and the one in the water cave above Gladeser, all of which are pretty unpleasant to get to. So just because the Sunstone is in an early area of the game like Glades does not mean it's going to come early in the seed necessarily.
And Skull choosing to head into Glades now, since she got a few keystones up in Swamp and Grotto.
She also has the key knowing that it's here, so this is a pretty good play. If you have multiple areas to check and you know one of them potentially has a dungeon key, going to that one definitely starts to look like a more attractive possibility, because not only could you find skills, but you could also be finding your dungeon keys at the same time.
And Grove TP, that's map zone 3. That's a really nice TP to have, because that allows her to get access to the valley entrance area, since she has stomps through, so she can like stomp the wall. And also that gives her access to Charge Flame tree, which could be a fourth tree, fifth tree, even.
Yeah, that's a pretty good teleporter to get access to, especially because she doesn't actually have ways to break blue plants and walls yet. So even though she could get pretty close to that area with her current skill set, she wouldn't actually be able to get over through the spider sack area over to where the Grove TP is. All right, so my real question is, given that they have the skills and the teleporter to get over to Sorrow on the left side, when are we going to see one of these runners decide to make the left side play?
I guess they're waiting for some form of verticality to be able to get up after stomping one of the walls. But I would expect this play to be made very soon, especially by Skull, because I know she knows this pass very well.
So they have Stomp to get out from the Sorrow teleporter, but the two paths out of there do have a lot of pretty dangerous spikes, and I'm not 100% sure with their current skill set that they would be able to get out without taking damage, so that might be what they're waiting on as well. And there's still a pretty decent number of pickups here on the right side they have to look at. And knowing that the Sunstone is here in Glades, it's a pretty good idea to stay over here and be clearing this area out.
And a Gumon seal on the left side by Skull. So we have two keys in the Glades. Oh, nice thing she saved. It's always a bit tricky with these jumps. Like sometimes the wall don't really make you wall jump.
Yeah, this area is deceptively difficult without Bash because those walls just love to have you slide down them back into the little fireball spitter there. I've definitely died more than a few times myself.
Deciding to save. Really nice. Still on 2 energy or 1, I continue.
I think
Looks like
it's
one.
just one still.
Oh, no, it's
Yeah,
two.
okay, that
Nice.
energy cell just now gave her the second one. I can tell you from... Oh, there's Climb. That's pretty good. If they can find Charge Jump, that'll be really good as well, because then they'll be getting themselves pretty close to grenade jumps, and that will also allow them to break a lot of the walls coming out of the Sorrow teleporter without taking any damage.
And OG choosing to revisit lower BRB, that's interesting. He has access to a few more pickups down here, so let's see what those are.
Okay, always really nice to have another energy cell, and more health certainly will never be unappreciated.
Also, Skull just got charge dash, so she can rocket jump now. Rocket jump and big plants.
That's going to be pretty big, especially in the left side where the game expects you to have a lot more robust of a skill set, but having rocket jumps can allow you to kind of cleverly get your way around them anyway. Okay, so let's kind of take a little bit of a larger view here. We can see that both players have pretty close to the same skill sets. Skull just having the advantage of having Climb, but they do both have the same sets of trees. I would say that they've probably both checked pretty close to the same amount of pickups here, just a little bit of small divergence in terms of where they've actually been. So it's hard to say one player has necessarily a big lead over the other. Although I do very much agree with Skull's decision here to come get this tree. This is going to get them one closer to being able to get their second clue. And given that they have not found the Sunstone in Glades yet, I think maybe taking a little bit of time to look for, hopefully, the Water Vein is a good idea, because the odds that the Sunstone is one of those grenade-locked pickups in Glades is pretty high at this point. Oh, sorry, no. I thought that was the 6th tree and that she got the Gumon Seal clue, but we won't find out until next tree which one the second clue is going to be.
So, what could Skull do right now? Like, there's not really any easy to access tree that she could go to right now, so I would assume she's gonna look for like check more pickups and try to find one more skill.
So it's I don't believe it's in logic, but because she has a health regen, she can take a hit of damage on the spikes in Sorrow. So I think she could take the teleporter and get out through it and have access to a lot of left side stuff that way. But that's kind of a risky play because I don't think that's where the seed is wanting to lead them. So at this point, just kind of doing a deep dig and looking for preferably Bash is not necessarily a bad idea. And I think that's kind of what they're doing here. There's a pretty large area neither of them has checked, and that's the whole of the swamp loop. You know, from the Ginso area down to where the swamp entry is. So
Also
OG just got
us 4 energy, so she is able to open the 4 energy doors, and Skull's OG on the right side still on 1 energy. So
all right, here we go. This is the play I was talking about. OG has elected to go ahead and go into Sorrow through the teleporter. He has quite a bit of health, so he can take a pretty hefty amount of damage from the spikes here and still stay alive. Fortunately, with Stomp, a lot of these barriers aren't going to be too big of an issue, although not having Bash is pretty unpleasant here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get to the charge jump tree like this. Missing a couple of skills, especially Bash, would be really helpful right now.
Yeah, so there's a barrier underneath where he's at right now that I don't believe he has any way to get through with his current set of skills. Well, okay, so he can get up on top of it and do a stomp, actually. I think that's what we're going to see here. And he has enough health with the health regen to be able to survive it. And then he'll be able to get through the bottom section and stomp his way into C-Jump Tree. There we go. I didn't even take any damage. Really nice. You can see that master logic experience from OG coming into play here, knowing that he was able to do this.
So that's his 5th tree. Maybe he can get to what's one is missing charge flame, so he could be able to get to the next one and get his 6th tree clue.
Okay, so if I'm OG, my mindset, if I just made that play, is that I'm saying I'm not too worried about what logic is wanting me to do right now. I'm just gonna go and get what I know I can get to, regardless of the seed, whether the seed intended to or not. So I would probably go back to the Sorrow TP and try and get out into Valley. However, looks like he has other plans, so I'm kind of curious as to see what this is going to end up being here. I got really excited when I saw the red text over on Skull's side on the left, but unfortunately it was not Sunstone, it was just Warmth Returned, which is an entirely useless pickup. Notable only for being very trolly by having red text just like the Sunstone does.
And
okay.
Swamp.
So with the Sea Flame tree, OG just got access to his 2nd clue, and we see that Water Vein is in Swamp. So that's going to mean that potentially it could be locked behind Clean Water, but there are quite a few Swamp pickups that are accessible to them right now, and it's one area they haven't really gone to very much. So it's definitely a really attractive option for him to start digging through right now.
And if they found Water Vein, they have double jump, so they could head up into Ginso next. Which would be a really nice play in my opinion, because they have there's a lot of pickups in Ginso.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh.
This is a little unfortunate for OG. He has to get into Swamp, he has to go through the Blackroot connection here, and then up through the Rockfall, and out through Grotto. Because he didn't have that mega energy to access the Death Gauntlet earlier like Skull did, his path to get into Swamp is quite a bit longer than hers will be. And it looks like she may be heading into that area as well. So despite the fact that OG definitely has the tree advantage right now, if Skull, for example, is able to find the Water Vein pretty quickly here, and then get into, for example, Ginso and find something really useful like Bash in there, she could very, very quickly just make the tree lead from OG evaporate.
Definitely. So she also found Wind Restored, so that means she can... Oh, Water Vein, nice.
Well, there it is. Okay, so this is exactly what she was hoping for. Found the Water Vein. I suspect she's probably going to continue the Swamp Loop here and then head into Ginso once she gets there, because it's one of the most pickup dense areas that we still have access to right now.
Yeah. She can glide right up here since she found Wind Restored and glide. Which makes it a little bit easier. Some of these jumps can be a little bit hard sometimes if you don't have double jump especially.
So these runners have
TP already.
I believe she did. I don't remember. So these runners have a pretty good set of skills for tackling most things right now. What they're really lacking is bash, obviously, and they don't have great verticality. So what they're really going to be hoping to find here in Ginso is preferably charge jump or bash. Either one of which would just for sure put these guys into go mode.
I was kind of lucky from Skull to find Water Vein since she didn't have the clue. Like OG had it, but Skull didn't since she's still on 5 trees.
So it looks like OG is kind of opting to make a little bit more of a thorough pickup check kind of play here. Rather than going right directly into the swamp and looking for the water vein, he's kind of taking a little bit of a detour off to the left here, checking a few pickups, and then is going to do the swamp loop from the other direction. Now this is really unfortunate for him because instead of entering the swamp loop from the side that we know the water vein is in, he's going to be coming in from the opposite side and is going to have to check a lot of stuff that's not water vein before he gets there. So definitely a little bit of an advantage for Skull in terms of the water vein search here.
Yeah, it's really a really interesting match because I wouldn't know who to give the lead to right now.
Yeah, this is still very unclear who. You just go purely by trees, it's got to be OG, but he doesn't have the water vein and has been a little bit less thorough in clearing out the right side than Skull has been overall. So very asymmetrical in terms of the advantage right now. Okay, so it looks like OG is not too concerned about finding the water vein immediately. Gonna just continue clearing out Grove. I guess after
from Skull.
Oh, that's huge. You'll remember that's exactly one of the situations that I said these runners were really hoping for in Ginso. With charge jump and her current set of skills, Skull is definitely capable of clearing out most to all of the game right now. And so if she so chooses, she can just really start to barrel. Oh my gosh. Did you see what was on the bash tree?
Vanilla bash. Awesome.
Vanilla
So that's definitely go mode.
bash. Okay, so you remember what we just said where it's not clear who's in the lead? I think we can go ahead and update that. Unless OG goes straight to the water vein, then I even have to emphasize more because Skull just found the Sunstone. Skull is very much in the lead right now. Unless OG goes straight to water vein and into the Ginso tree, he has a huge deficit to make up right now.
Yeah,
Oh
and with
my
all the skills
goodness.
Skull just found, finishing left side is going to be really fast.
Yeah, I mean, she has everything she wants in terms of skills. She has all the keys. She just has to rush straight to the trees now. I mean, it would take something really bad for her to lose now. And this is the power of Randomizer. I mean, both of these players are making smart decisions, but the one that Skull made just paid off so much more heavily. And in the space of about 10 seconds, it went from basically tied to huge advantage to Skull here. Very, very interesting. All right, so because Skull came through this path from the Sorrow Teleporter, she's not going to be able to get back out through the Keystone door off to the right. So she's electing to come back up through this this spiky corridor. Not really very difficult with her current set of skills. So she's just going to come up this way and around the other path from the teleporter, and is going to use this to get out into Valley and to the rest of her trees.
And she does have climb and charge jump, so breaking this wall is pretty easy to do. Sometimes you have to do a stomp or check a charge jump to be able to break it, but like in this case it was really nice, really easy.
I feel so bad for poor OG here. I mean, he's doing a very good job of being thorough on checking pickups. but he walked right past where the pickup he once is, and he's just being so thorough in everywhere except the right place right now. And I mean, he has no way of knowing that it was going to have been that particular pickup. He does have the clue that says that it's in swamp, but currently lacking a lot of skills and not knowing for sure that bash and charge jump are in the Ginso tree. It's not necessarily a bad play to be checking what he is right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty good play. And for forgetting to charge jump up, or to rocket jump up, sorry. Which could have made this check just a little bit faster. Maybe he was out of energy.
So, one potential downfall for OG that could be coming to play here is he plays a lot of Master Seeds, and Master Seeds tend to be incredibly starved on what skills you have access to. So, were this Master, being a little bit more thorough and checking other stuff could be a very strong play here because, it's not likely that a Master Seed would give you both charge jump and bash in the Ginso tree like this. So he's thinking, okay, I'm going to delay that and come back to it later once I have one more little bit of advantage on my side, but unfortunately just didn't really play out that way here.
It looks like OG is about to find climb, which he doesn't really need right now, but like in combination with charge jump, that's a really nice thing to have.
You can
Especially
see
if they
Skull.
find grenade.
Skull is very aware that she's in the driver's seat and has everything she needs. She's skipping a lot of pickups, is just trying to rush trees. She only has one left, which is going to be the stomp tree, which with her current set of skills is going to be no trouble to get to. She'll just be able to blast her way straight in there, get access to it, and then head on to the ending of the game. This is going to be a very fast seed for her, unless she has just some catastrophic mistakes coming up.
And OG checking Glazer. He's still looking for Sunstone. He doesn't know that it's at the Frankie roof since the runners aren't allowed to watch each other. For obvious reasons.
This is just really unfortunate. I'm not sure he's actually going to be able to get to it with his oh no, wait, he has double jump. I'm silly. Yeah. Oh, charge flame. Well, there's plant breakage. I was wondering where it was. So with plant breakage, that's going to give him access to quite a few pickups that they didn't have before. Well, you know what? They did have charge dash, so they've technically had access to it for a while, but not within logic. This now means that the game could be putting crucial progression on plants and expecting them to have gotten charge flame from the Glazer to do it. Oh, poor OG walking right under the sunstone there. It does.
Yeah, he has no way to get up, so it's pretty rough for him. He doesn't know. Checking
Just
Death
go-
Gauntlet now.
Go back to swamp, OG. Go back to swamp. Okay, on the left-hand side, Skull just got her 10th tree and is now going to head on to the final escape with double jump and glide and stomp and charge jump and bash and dash. I mean, she has everything she could want for the final escape. I suspect she's going to have very little difficulty with it. And no clean water, but does have 7 health, so that's going to make the last section not too difficult either. You know, the one thing I really want to see out of Skull is after Door Warp, I really want her to check the validation experience under Horu, and I want it to be grenade so that last second she will suddenly have access to grenade jumps for the final escape.
Yeah, that would be funny. But I don't know if he checks validation pickup usually. Which is not required for the run, by the way, so... Sometimes it can be something, but it's pretty rare.
I probably wouldn't in the context of a race, but if I'm only one skill away from having grenade jump, I will go ahead and check the validation pickup just in case. It hasn't paid off yet, but someday it will.
OG is really close to Water Vein right now on the right side. Finally checking Swamp.
So Water Vein was a little, it was a little bit back to the left of where he is, so he can't He's not going to be able to continue here without charge jump, so hopefully should be coming back and getting the water vein here.
Okay, nice. Looks like he's going to get it.
There we go. Now, if you're in OG's shoes, it's obviously exciting to get water vein here, but it's also a bit of a bad feeling because this pickup has been available to them for quite a while, so you got to imagine he probably is a little worried that maybe Skull has already gotten it, which of course, being able to see both racers, we know that she did.
Skull finally on the final escape. She has a lot of skills, so it shouldn't be too hard, but you can always die, especially if you don't have clean water and you can miss a pro bash or something. Very easy to die.
She even has ultra defense though, so gets through there with tons of health left, no problem. And with no grenade jump is just going to go straight into it, hold right. That is going to be GG for Skull. Very, very well played to her. That was a very fast seed, and she made a lot of great decisions. So big props to her. Alright, so now that OG has access to the water vein, I suspect we will most likely see him make a pretty quick progression to the end here. He's going to, well, I thought he was going to go into the Ginso tree. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, nice.
Just wanted to enjoy the scenery outside a little bit first. So he's going to go through here. He's going to get the important skills that he still needs. The runners are juking me so hard today. This is twice now. This is collusion.
It will make his final trip to Montoru much faster.
Okay, yeah, this is a reasonable play. Okay, looks like he wanted to use a rocket jump to check the ability cell up and to the left of the Ginso tree here. But unfortunately killed his swarm and wasn't able to rocket jump up there. So let's see what the plan is now. All right, and that is time for Skull 38-33. That is a pretty quick seed right there. Very well played. I'm sure seeing a time this quick is going to make whoever her next opponent is very intimidated.
Yeah, definitely. She's a really scary opponent. She likes to check pickups a lot and not really sequence break. So that means like sometimes she finds pickups that other people choose to skip, and
that can pay off really big in a randomizer. Being thorough and checking what the seed expected you to can definitely lead you towards some much faster paths every once in a while. And you saw OG pausing at the entrance to the Ginso tree there, typing GG well played to Skull in the SRL chat. So he's being a really great sport about it. Really glad to see that. And is aware now that he'll unfortunately not be able to take the win here, but is going to continue on and finish out the seed for us, it looks like. So good work from him. And I'm sure as soon as he finds the bash and the charge jump in the top of the Ginso tree there, he's probably going to just immediately know what happened. He's going to know, oh, she got water vein fast and came here and got this and finished the run out.
yes, I'm expecting him to ult out of Ginso after bash tree, after fighting charge jump and bash, and be in full go mode on the left side. He still needs Sunstone, but he's probably going to check that pickup at Frankie Walk pretty.
Now our truck is noting that OG has been skipping some of the pickups so far, so he's definitely going to find bash because it's on the tree. But if he skips the pickup that charge jump is on, that could give him a little bit more difficulty with some later stuff, particularly with actually getting the Sunstone pickup. With charge jump, you can just hop right up there to it. But with bash, they can get to it, but it's going to require luring Frankie over, which is a little bit slower, and he may not think of it. Okay, he did get charge jump. Excellent. Glad to see that he decided to check those.
Choosing to check a few more pickups. Maybe he wants something else to be able to finish.
He's probably looking for bash and is about to have a really nice surprise here. There we go.
Wiping his mouse.
You can tell how excited he is to have those skills finally. This is pretty much exactly what he's looking for. Oh man, highlighting that he has every skill except for grenade. So he's got all the tools he needs to finish out here, no problem. Unless he doesn't know for sure that the Sunstone isn't grenade locked, so he could be a little bit worried that maybe grenade is somewhere that he just hasn't checked yet and that he actually does need it.
That's maybe why he was just highlighting it. He has forgotten about the Funky Walk pickup, maybe.
All right, so rather than checking for the Sunstone, he's going to looks like he's going to go ahead and finish out some trees. I agree with this decision because if the Sunstone is grenade locked and he searches for it right now, he's just kind of ended up wasting his time. But if he searches for trees, there's a chance that he finds grenade along the way and then would be able to get access to the grenade lock pickups. So I think he's making the right call here.
Forgetting you can do the casual strat and climb on the wall and do the charge jump. Like that's a master, I believe that's a master strat, stomping the wall like this. Or maybe expert, I'm not sure.
I'm not really familiar with expert logic. It's definitely in master, but there we go. He remembers that he has climb and charge jump and does the damage list strat. All right, so he already has the charge jump tree. He can just come. All right, so it appears he's not too concerned about it being grenade. He's not going to take the time to check a ton of pickups or anything. He's checking the stuff that's quick and on his way. But I guess taking a gamble that if it is grenade locked, he can always, you know, for example, go back to Forlorn and get the grenade out of the escape, or he could just dig again. Although, given how fast Skull's time was, the chances that it's grenade locked and grenade was in a really weird place are fairly low. I think he can make the meta read that a 38 probably didn't have to dig super hard for a grenade to unlock Sunstone.
I mean, he doesn't know if Skull found grenade or not. So he's not even getting the Valley TP, skipping it. That's really interesting. Since its climb is his last tree on the left side, that's probably why.
Now, he is bypassing all the Misty pickups, so, I mean, any one of these could have been grenade, but he doesn't be too concerned.
Also, that's really nice. He was a bit low in HP and that's not a lot of energy left.
Now he has, looks like on the mixer, a total of 4 energy, I believe. For this late into a seed, being on 4 energy still is fairly low. This seed's been a little bit rude with the energy cells, especially early on when they were both stuck on 1 for just a really long time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Skull also finished on 4 or 5 energy. So he's not gonna find lots more energy, sadly. I'm sure he would appreciate it.
Yeah, low energy is especially bad in seeds where it gives you Sea Flame early, which this seed kind of expected you to do, but because they were able to break plants with Charge Dash, neither one of them ever ended up getting that until quite a bit later on. Okay, so one last tree for OG to pick up here. It's going to be the Stomp tree, and then he's going to have to make his search for the Sunstone. I'm almost curious, it's been so long since they did the Sunstone search, maybe he just forgot that he doesn't have it at this point. That's definitely something that it's possible to do, and I know from experience because I've gotten to the front door of Horu and been like, wait, why can't I go in? Oh, yeah, I never found the Sunstone.
Or the other way around, have Sunstone and forget you're still missing 1 tree.
Yeah, I've done that too. Absolutely. Doesn't look like he's going to forget about the trees, though. He's headed straight for Stomp Tree here. Going to have no problem getting in there with his current skill set.
Not even taking his first map stone.
Not really checking much in the way of pickups on his way. Takes the time to check that keystone just because, you know, you have to wait for the door to open anyway. But I suspect outside of this, he's just going to basically burn rubber straight to the last tree. And then hopefully remember he still needs the sunstone before going to Horu. Because they got the sunstone clue so early on, it can definitely be to unintentionally check it off your mental list there. All right, moment of truth. He knows it's in Glades.
Oh no, he's heading the wrong way.
He's headed away from the sunstone. It looks like he's headed to the teleporter.
No.
Don't do. Oh no, he's headed
No.
to swamp. This definitely signals that he's headed to the. I think he forgot. OG, go back. Go back. Please. Oh, he's headed straight for it. He's in for a very surprise when he gets to the door and can't go in. Like I said, because the runners found the clue for the sunstone so quickly, I can't fault OG at all for just forgetting that they hadn't actually found it, because it's just so easy when you do a randomizer. There's so many things to keep in your head. Oh, here it comes. Oh no, you know that's a bad feeling. He checks, sees he doesn't have the sunstone. Types into the SRL something that I'm not allowed to say on stream. And now he's just asking why. Oh, okay, good. Looks like he's gonna go straight for it. Yes, he gets the sunstone. Excellent. Yeah, frantically waving the mouse over the sunstone like, oh, why didn't I just come check this first? You know he's got to be a little frustrated with this. Obviously, it wouldn't made a difference in the actual results, but just it's really frustrating to get all the way to the horror door and realize you don't have it, unfortunately.
Okay, so heading to onto for the second time now. Having the sunstone, which is useful.
That's it's very helpful for getting into Horu, that's for sure, especially in categories that don't allow out of bounds. All right, so we get to see OG put on a clinic of movement here towards the Horu door for the second time. It's really, really fast to get there when you have dash and bash and charge jump and everything. So, you know, unfortunate that he didn't have it the first time, but if he had to just walk here at his normal, you know, default Ori speed, this would be quite a bit worse. There we go. Helpful to have Sunstone.
So how many door webs attempts do you think it's gonna take?
I'm gonna go with 2.
I'm gonna say 1. I have faith.
All right,
Nice.
1 time. I was kind of curious if he was gonna check the validation orb, since he doesn't really have anything to lose here. Maybe just look for the grenade jump, but opts to just go ahead and head on to the end. Respectable decision. Definitely the smart decision. The chances that grenade is on validation is just so low. Okay, and just like with Skull, I don't expect to see too much difficulty with the final escape here with this pretty robust set of skills. OG has a lot of health. I didn't see for sure if he took Ultra Defense or not, but with 8 health, even without it, he should be fine, I would imagine.
I'm still sad we're not seeing grenade jumps. Could have made the last cutscene just a little bit faster.
Yeah, oh no, accidentally falls into the fire there. That's unfortunate. So that fire does a lot of damage. If he'd gotten out of the fire right away, still wouldn't have been able to finish the swim at the end because it put him at 4 health. And the fact that that fire did 4 damage means that he does not have Ultra Defense, so definitely would not have been able to survive that. So just has to hop back in the fire real quick and finish himself off and get a retry on it. Yeah, Grenade is an odd pickup in Rando because it's so powerful when paired with Bash that you know, in a normal speedrun of this game, Grenade is kind of not that important. But in the Rando, Grenade is one of the best pickups to find, and the fact that it can give you grenade jumps is just icing on the cake.
Yeah, definitely. And he's done.
And
He
GG
only has
to
to
OG.
walk right now. GG.
So this is going to come in around a 53-minute time or so. So it's still a very respectable time, especially for having to make the journey to the Horror Door twice. So we'll just need to hold right for another minute or so here. And then I believe we should be able to get our runners in here and get a quick little interview going with them. Ask them about their thoughts on the seed here. So once again, GG to both runners. Really solid performance out of both of them. Oh, that's a cool color shift out of OG there. It's almost like a black Ori, like a really dark red or purple.
Having fun doing the color code right now. While he's doing the cutscenes.
Okay, so OG trying to go with the Naru hops here. Glad to see that he's still in high spirits despite the rough finish with the Sunstone there. So excellent, good race out of both of these guys. Let's go ahead and get them in here for an interview, and then we can start talking about some of our other races that we have going on today. Which, trust me, we have a lot of them. All right, looks like we have our runners in here. GG to you, both of you, Skull and OG. Congratulations, Skull, on the win. Excellent showing out of both of you.
GG Skull.
GG, OG. Hi, guys.
All right. So, good showing out of both of you. As far as questions, Skull, we'll go ahead and start with you. When you first found the water vein, did you kind of like still have anything in your head that you wanted to look for at that point, or once you found that, was that kind of like your signal that okay, it's time to start to jet through the rest of this seed?
I still didn't have Bash and Charge Out. They were both in Ginza or Ginza, if you prefer. And I still miss Sunstone. I was very worried that Sunstone was grenade lock somewhere, or Kaleza, or the pickup near Wajongte. So I was very worried for that.
Yeah, we were definitely like at that point in the race, watching both of you guys and kind of trying to debate, okay, does anybody have a lead? Kind of saying pretty much tied, but as soon as you found just like Bash, Charge Jump, Sunstone in about 10 seconds, we were like, oh, okay, well, this is a huge advantage for Skull now. So that was quite the sequence there.
Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate because that sort of occurred for me as well, but obviously later on where it went, alright, fine, here's water vein, let me do a quick scan, see if Sunstone is here. Alright, let's go in.
Yeah,
Skull
you
was
were
finished at this
being
point, but yeah.
You were being real thorough on pickup checks, just everywhere except the one place where water vein was, and like you walked right by it, so close to it. It was very unfortunate. But I mean, once you found it, you made exactly the same plays that Skull did. So I mean, you knew what to do as soon as you found it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Did
and
you have
also
any?
was the first one to find a clue. Why did you decide to go to Charge Jump Tree so early? Like, was it for the clue, or were you just like trying to get a tree out of the way?
It was a bit of both. I was sort of out of ideas, and I was like, oh, I can just go get this tree now. So I did it, I guess.
Very nice. Well, I thought it was a pretty solid play. So, so I have a question for each of you, just kind of about upcoming matchups. Skull, this puts you, I believe, your next match will be the 1-1 bracket. So, is there anybody you're particularly scared of facing, or what do you think about your upcoming matchups in that bracket?
I'm not really sure who else is in 1-1, but I know one person that is in 1-1, and that's Cycle. I don't want to face my partner.
I can guarantee you, no matter what your result is right now, there's somebody incredibly scary in your bracket, so nobody is safe. All right, so
Yeah.
OG, same question to you. Looking up to your next matchup, is there anybody you're really wanting to avoid? Anybody you're really wanting to play against? What do you think about it?
I'm just pulling up the challenge page now. So at the moment, O2, there's Fluffy, Senior Drill, Meat Shield, Black, and Hydra. So it'll be interesting. Although I guess I'm just one game away from being able to do a whole heap of dumb master strats in my 04 and 05 brackets.
That's living the dream right there.
Yeah, because I've got to win every game from here to progress. Yeah.
Yes, 3-2 is needed for brackets.
Yeah. So those last 2 games will be fun, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And this was quite a fun one as well. All right, so Dedu, you got any more questions for our runners here?
No more questions. Like, GG to both of you. It was really fun to watch and to commentate.
Yeah, especially like the first half up until the water vein find was very interesting because you guys were like neck and neck, but not with the same stuff. You were very much checking different things, but nobody really had a definite advantage. So it was quite an exciting race. All right, so currently, right now, over on Speed Gaming 3, we actually have another clues race going on. It's Trojan Dude versus Matter Monkey. So I highly suggest everyone head over there and check that out. We'll be joining that race midway through. And throughout the rest of the day, I can't even list how many more matches we have. After Trojan Dude versus Matter Monkey, there are 7 more Ori Rando matches today. So if you're looking for Ori Rando, this is the day. Like, you're going to have it all day long. It's going to be incredible. So, I'm going to go ahead and head on and sign off here. I've been the Roos is Loose. Dedu joining me on commentary. Thank you so much. And GG once more to Skull and OG. And thanks for putting on this entertaining race. I will hopefully see you guys over on Speed Gaming 3.
See you.